Hi, and welcome to the second episode of the show. I'm DJ Lunaire, the Gaming DJ. Today, I'm going to take you on a trip a little further back in time, to the death of an industry and the birth of a giant. I'm talking, of course, about the great video game crash of 1983, or more specifically, the games. We'll talk a little bit about what happened, but I'm a gaming DJ. So, to tell you how it went down, here's my friend Treble Vox.
What? Huh? Oh, it's recording. I'm Treble Vox, the gaming DJ's research assistant.
Don't flatter yourself. You're just a wooden man with a pole up his ass and a synthetic voice.
Could a synthetic voice do this?
Ah! Okay, that hurt. Point made.
Can I just do my job?
Please. Oh.
Gaming was big business in the late 70s and early 80s. So, what happened? The simple answer is that everyone jumped on the bandwagon, combined with dozens upon dozens of terrible, third-party games, coupled with raising popularity of home computers. It could only lead to an implosion. By 1982, there were no fewer than 12 home consoles, including the well-known Atari 2600 and 5600, Intellivision, ColecoVision, and several lesser known to the modern gamer. Each had its own library of games, often with huge, third-party libraries. Several had even planned a new generation of home gaming for 1984. Another hit for the gaming industry was the home computer market, which was breaking into the mainstream. A person could buy a PC for $400 at the time. Along with their greater memory and better sound and graphics, home PCs were being viewed as a multifunctional, edutainment console. Even Commodore started offering trade-ins for their C64s, and marketed their computers for college-bound students. Atari and Mattel research found this greatly hurt the industry's reputation. Activision had also formed from disgruntled Atari programmers. In an attempt to block the release of Activision software, Atari launched a lawsuit that failed later in 1982. This paved the way for third-party publishers. Many new, hastily financed startup companies began making video games. It was like the dot-com boom and bust, but 20 years earlier. Their poor-quality games, combined with weak but high-profile games from Atari themselves, seriously damaged the industry's reputation even further. Unlike Nintendo, Sony, Sega, or Microsoft in later decades, Atari had lost all control over who could make games for their consoles, and to ensure stores weren't overstocked with product. It was a setup for disaster, and it happened when Atari buried 14 truckloads of unsellable games and consoles in a New Mexico landfill in September of 1983.
What a time it was, and people are getting all upset about the system wars. The current-gen system wars are nothing compared to the crash.
I know. I was there.
How could you have been there? I bought you brand new last year.
I was a tree still back then, waiting to be given my current life.
Let's just take a look at the games. This first game is Egomania. I don't even know what to say about this. It's a piece of shit. The controls are slippery, you go flying across the screen with just a tap. And the psychedelic chicken? What were these people on? I'll tell you. Oatmeal. This game was made by US Games, a division of Quaker Oats. That's right, the very same Quaker Oats that tells you to eat their overprocessed pure sugar crap for breakfast. US Games made 14 games before going belly up. Quaker chose to cut their losses. Good thing. This game was part of a contest to name it, but it was never completed before US Games closed. The rumors say that the European title Octopus was the winner. Ironically enough, the winner was actually going under. The failed lawsuit against Activision paved the way for these two beauties, Bachelorette Party and Custer's Revenge, both from Mystique. Looks like the party's already going for this buxom slut, bouncing around fucking every guy in sight. As for Custer, it looks like he's getting his revenge by raping innocent native women. This game was highly controversial for exactly that reason. And yes, these are real games, not hacked ROMs. There's actually several more adult games for the 2600, including Bachelor Party, Beat 'em and Eat 'em, and more, but I've chosen not to show them. This is Burger Time, from N Network. Sorta. Burger Time was a highly popular and successful arcade game back in the day, but this port to the Atari leaves something to be desired. Many games were ported from the arcade to the Atari, often losing a lot of the original game in the process. Burger Time's no exception. Instead of eggs and hot dogs, I'm being chased by a lumpy wiener and a couple squares. The pepper attack freezes the game for a moment, and it's really hard to see a burger here. I know it's only the Atari, but this is pretty sad. Not as sad, however, as this flop, the Atari 2600 port of Namco's Pac-Man. Pac-Man is probably the best known video game character in the world after Mario, if he doesn't surpass Mario. He's had dozens of games and ports, but I'm sure this is one Namco wishes it could forget. The graphics flicker annoyingly, the ghosts are horrible, but the hit detection is out of this world, in that the ghosts don't really have to touch you for you to die. Controls are iffy, but the variety of boards seems to be missing. Instead of fruit, you collect weird-shaped pellets. The only redeeming factor of this game is that when you eat a ghost, the sound effect almost sounds like "fuck you." Atari had a lot at stake in Pac-Man. They had produced 12 million cartridges, even though only 10 million people had a 2600. The popularity of the arcade game failed to save how bad this game was, and Atari wound up burying 5 million copies. What compilation of the worst Atari games would be complete without this monstrosity? Atari hyped up the release of E.T. the Extraterrestrial heavily, building up a great deal of expectation. It resulted in players bashing controllers into walls. When I was young, I swore off ever playing this game again because it's just so broken. But I did a single playing for you. You'll see some of the reasons I hate this game. It's not all bad. For an Atari 2600 game, it's nicely animated, and the opening actually looks like the creepy little alien. However, it's way too easy to fall into these pits. I have no idea what those things I collect in the pits are, but I assume they're parts to the alien spaceship. It might help if I ever owned the manual to this game. It's difficult to escape the two men out to capture you because you either fall into a hole or somehow run into them. Again, Atari had invested way too heavily in this game. Like Pac-Man, they produced more E.T. cartridges than there ever were game systems. Not just systems sold, but systems ever produced. It makes me wonder, if it didn't work the first time with Pac-Man, why try it again? Well, we've taken a trip back nearly 25 years to the near death of video games. Obviously games are still around though, or I wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. So what saved them and resurrected the industry? Interestingly enough, the events that occurred in North America never happened in Japan. A little company with a history in playing cards took a gamble and released a game console. Nintendo's Famicom was a smash success because Japanese players always preferred domestic games in the first place. Nintendo was very wary of releasing their Famicom, renamed to the Nintendo Entertainment System, in North America because of the crash. At the Christmas of 1984, they performed a test market in New York City, where they quickly sold over 1 million units. The following year, the NES went national, and the rest, as they say, is history. This is DJ Lunaire saying peace and love be with you, whoever you may be.